Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel, Planet Build. And good to have you back here at the Willow Grove Project. Today we're going to continue work on the abandoned log flume factory. That's the thing that we started in the last video. Now that was a speed build video. Today I got the time, hopefully you guys got the time, because we are going for a long play video. I probably did that once or twice in my Planet Coaster 2 career. Yeah, I'm not the best at it, I believe. But yeah, you know what? I think it's a good thing to sometimes just do a long play, just to give you guys an idea of how I build, what ideas that I got, how I actually build when I build in my own time. You know, the speed build videos are, those are just recorded things. Sometimes I just sit there and wander at my screen for about 30 minutes to actually give me an idea of what I want to create. So today a long play video. If you don't like the long play videos, skip this one. Not for me, but for you guys, and then wait for the next speed build video to come. And if you do like it, please sit back, relax, and enjoy. And hopefully I can learn you guys some stuff throughout the build and get you guys inspired to actually build some of the things for yourself. So today we're going to focus on the front side of the right building for the attraction, which actually holds the big drop over here for the log flumes. I'm going to work on that front side a little bit, on the right side, which actually holds the entrance, but also the exit on a lower level for this attraction. And we're probably going to do some things for the surface over here. Eventually, and that will be done in any future videos, I need to reroute this pathway over here. This is just one straight pathway. I probably need to reroute it, give a little bit more of those curves in it to make it a little bit more longer, because this is eventually the queue for the attraction. And one thing that I need to make sure of is that it fits the monorail track a little bit over here. I'm not going to reroute the monorail track because I just want this in a straight line up all the way until that curve comes in over here. Eventually this section, the right section from the monorail track, will be for a city walk area, so shopping area, an area where you can have something to drink, have something to eat, small restaurants, stuff like that. So I cannot reroute the monorail track in this section, so I need to keep it in a straight line. So the hardest thing eventually will be to blend in this section with this section over here. So but that will be for a future video. And if you may have noticed in the earlier videos that I posted, this is the entrance for our second park within the Willow Grove sandbox. And this will be themed different from this side. And this area over here will be also themed differently. Probably in the same theming as we are using right now for the log flume attraction. But that will be for any upcoming videos. Now, like I said, today focusing on the right side of the building over here. And you know what? It's a long play video. I don't know how long it will be. I don't know what I'm going to build. So yeah, let's kick in that long play section right now. And I'm not going to talk through it all the way. I'm just bad at, let's hit the pause button. I do play in pause mode. I got my park closed just to make sure that my PC is able enough or has a good performance while I'm actually building. One thing that I did notice is that the scroll wheel of my mouse is having a little bit of trouble actually scrolling, so maybe a new mouse would be highly appreciated. I actually cannot talk and build at the same time, or it's actually quite hard to do that. So I'm probably going to talk through it a little bit, not that much, give you guys some advice and share the ideas that I got on today's build. But like I said, I'm not that good at building and talking at the same time. So we'll see where this video ends. Now the best part for me is that I already got some pieces together in the last video, which makes it easy to copy paste some of those pieces within this area. And if you may have watched any of my other long play videos or any of my videos, you probably know that sometimes I just wander at my screen for, let's say, 30 to maybe 60 minutes to actually get some ideas together, get some pieces together to actually work with. And that's also the thing that I did for this build over here. And still one thing I am having trouble with, and I posted that in my last video, is the color scheming of this build. I do believe that the buildings are a little bit too dark. Excuse me. The buildings are a little bit too dark. The corrugated walls that I use are a little bit too green, and the constructed, or the what's this called? The rough concrete walls are a little bit too bright. So I need to make sure that those colors blend in nicely with the environment and with all the trees and plants and stuff hanging over it. So it's a little bit off color right now, but I'm probably going to do it at my own time. That's just a long process to get all those colors right. So we got that section over there right now. This needs to be a little bit lower. Just like that. And this one needs to be... Oh, it's a grid piece. Let's just do this. If I usually, when I want to, for now I got this small gray section over here, which I don't like. This is better, you know. I don't want to move the whole building, so what I usually do is just take two pieces. You need to take two pieces, not one. You cannot split one. Yeah, you can split one, but you have to hit the done button and select it separately. But if you select two of those pieces within one group of a grid, you can split it, and then you can easily move it. That looks better. And like I said, I got a lot of these pieces which I can reuse now. I also said in the last video that I posted that maybe it would be a good idea to actually have these stairs over here and this walking section actually function for a queue or a exit of this attraction. I'm still thinking about that one. Not sure if I'm able to reroute the exit for this attraction to make sure that the people actually take this walkway over here, but it would be hard because I need to make a bridge over here. It would be cool though if you would actually get over here and walk this walkway over here where the boat actually goes underneath, but I'm not quite sure if it's doable. Still thinking about that one though. Now so far I did actually believe that when I would be making this this area over here, it would involve a lot of pieces, but so far, and I do believe when I would calculate how many pieces in total I would actually be using for this oh, this is not a group yet. How many pieces I would actually be using for this section, it will probably be around 30 to 35,000 pieces, and that's the same amount of pieces that I use for the sorcery area, so that's not bad. I know how the lesser pieces you use, the better the performance of the gameplay is, but in this case I do believe that when the park would be finished, it would be around 250,000 pieces, I guess. There's still a new area to come, and that is yet to be decided, and that depends on the DLC that is actually coming for the game. I'm hoping for an adventure jungle type of theming for any upcoming DLCs. Is this similar to that one? It's a little bit off. What did I do over here? Not sure. Let's get this one. A little bit more over here. That's better. Not sure why it is. No, it has to be one straight line. It's not in one straight line. Why is that? Probably because it's bended a little bit. Let's try to get it in one straight line over there. Not sure why it is not in one straight line, because I just easily copy pasted it. The only thing I can imagine is that I use the world axis and not the relative axis to maybe turn this one over here, but it's okay. It's a small little detail. Now, if you know the way I build and the way I actually think about the things that I build in my park, you probably know that I'm a big fan of, or one of my favorite things is actually creating the planters and using the foliage and stuff like that. So I'm actually having a good time right now with all the foliage that I'm using within this area over here, and also within the first section for this Avatar inspired area. Gives me so much satisfaction, vibes, creating this area. And one thing I'm actually still struggling with is the way to actually get some glow in the dark effects on the floor, so on the walkways for the guests. Let me lower this one a little bit, just like that. I also need these gray stucco floors. So I'm still trying to figure out how I can actually get that glow in the dark effect on the ground or on the walkway, so that is barely visible at daytime but gives a nice glowing effect at nighttime. But I'm not sure how I'm actually going to achieve that. Let's see, what do we got? Let's connect these things over here. So I'm just curious, we got the toy box update in the last update. I haven't used or played with that DLC so far, with that pack. Probably the only thing that I used was this is better. The only thing that I used are these the paint that is in the toy box pack. Wait, let me focus on this one. What's going on over here? Yeah, this one needs to go down, just like that. So the only thing that I used of that toy box pack so far are the paint drip over here. Let me show you guys, all the way. And that's what I meant with the glow in the dark effect. So you got a lot of that paint over here, which I actually was trying to test out if this would actually glow in the dark or not. And it actually does glow in the dark a little bit. not too much. So like I said, I'm still testing out how that works. But that's probably the only thing that I used from that toy box pack so far. It is a great pack though, but it doesn't fit my park. So therefore I'm quite curious to see what kind of new packs are actually coming, or any upcoming DLC would be. Like I said, hopefully an adventure pack. That will be great, and that will be probably be the main theme for my last area within this park. But that will probably be not having glow-in-the-dark pieces. And it would be great timing if the pack would actually come out within, well, let's say 1 month or so from now. I think that will be the time where I actually could finish this this area over here. And I'm just curious, what kind of packs would you guys prefer seeing in the game? I think my top 3 would be definitely an adventure jungle type pack, maybe some Indiana Jones style with probably some new foliage. I'm a big fan of foliage, so hopefully that will be any new packs in the upcoming DLCs. But also, I think some Hollywood Studios vibes as my second favorite pack to come. Or maybe, I'm not sure what kind of pack I would prefer as third. That's a hard one. Maybe something. We got some castles already with the sorcery pack, but so not sure what kind of. Let me think about that one. Maybe something related to Africa or so. An Arabic pack, I guess, would be great. Is there anything over here that I can use different than I used over here? Let me see. Nope. So in this case, I use a lot of these bramble bushes to cover up some of these corrugated panels over here. To not make sure it's not connected to the surface. I want to have it, keep it in this curve over here. Just like that. And then one on the other side, or to the other side. There we go. Alright. So we need a metal walkway, and because I actually want, let me copy that color. So now there's actually no pathway from this side into that side. So to create the illusion that you can actually get from this side to that side, I want to make a small drawbridge. Just to create the illusion that there's, not sure if this is doable or not, or how this actually looks, but let me rotate it a little bit. And then let's put one over here and one on the other side as well. Just like that. Yes, I know it's not probably going to make it if you would lower it, but it's just the illusion that there's an actual functionality in this one to go from one side to the other side. And now comes the fun part, and that is actually the placing the foliage and stuff like that. And what I usually do when I copy paste any of my groups, I think you can use, let's say 80% of that group, and just to easily quickly cover up a surface like this. But always make sure that, like in this case, I would remove this plant over here, the tropical plant that I made. Otherwise it will definitely be a mirror image of this one over here and this one over on the right side. And to not make it look like a mirror image, I'm going to remove this one over here. Probably going to turn this one a little bit. Oh, that's too much. Or maybe adjust the angle a little bit, not to make sure it is fully mirrored and on the same. Just make sure that it doesn't look the same. I think that's the best thing to do when you would copy paste groups like this. And then just by adding one or two of these plants, maybe in different places, gives you a quick and easy covering for this surface over here. Let me get some new rocks in here. Some ferns. So eventually the exit, I'm going to block off this section so it's not walkable from the exit, or it looks like a dead end. Let's see if I can. This is not a grid piece, so that's a great thing. Let me get this in already to make sure what the angles are on this one. Now I'm not sure how I'm going to create this section over here. One thing that I do know is that I want something similar than this thing over here. Let's see. Those are a lot of pieces. Let's go ahead and copy paste this one. Remove that section. Okay, it looks like trash right now, but I think I can easily blend it in with the rest over here. Let me get the height correct over here to make sure that it's not coming out of these. Let me get a statue in, just to make sure that I get the height right of the exit over here. Oh yeah, that's great, that's great, that's great. I hate it when it does that. Just, do you guys ever use these corners over here to like make it go like in a free form? I hate those. I hate those. I'm only using the arrows, not the corners. I'm not even sure why you would use the corners. Right, so that's one. Then let me, what is this? Not a building. It is this building, right? So let me remove this one. Just like that. All right. So probably need to, is it on the same level? Not yet. Probably need to heighten this a little bit. This is gonna be tough. Yeah, you know what? Let's go ahead and remove these things over here. Probably going to add this small fence over here. Let me copy paste them both. It's probably better. Oops. All right, that's a good angle. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Yeah, that's it. There we go. All right. Took me a while. Sorry, guys. And it's still not. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. It's acceptable. Let's see. These are some weird angles over here. Let me just continue using this up until here. And then this one until there. Now this is a hard one. Let me get that smaller metal walkway in. Let me copy paste this improvised drawbridge over here and put it on this section as well. Enlarge it a little bit. There we go. Great. What else do we got? What else do we got? I love these concrete walls. I probably said it in the last video as well. But I love the texture on these concrete walls. These rough concrete walls. And so if you speak about detail, now I am actually connecting them to each other. But what I actually did in the other building that I made, let me finish that one. In some places over here, maybe I'm correct, maybe I'm not. Oh, I did not use it on this side either. So what I sometimes tend to do, let me show it you guys. To get a little bit more detail in a wall, you can have this small little gap over here. Where is it? Just like that. And that will probably give you a little bit more detail in that wall. You know, call me crazy, but the only thing that you need to make sure of is that there's not enough lighting getting through those gaps. But if you don't want to make it look one big wall, or what you can also use is a small thin piece of wood or something like that, straight piece of wood, recolor it in the same color as the walls are, and then you get those small little panel details within the walls. But in this case, I just want to connect it to each other. Not sure why I'd actually do that, but I do prefer to have those little details sometimes in my walls. Not sure if I'm keeping these fences on the queue over here. I like it though. Not sure if I'm going to keep it. So now we got this small weird section over here with some bad angles, and that's probably a good place to get some foliage in. Or maybe, I'm not sure. Let me test some things out. So we got some pipes over here. I need to see what the boat does, or what the log flume actually does. So let me, oh, easily, and even better, I can put it down a little bit. Let me adjust the size of this thing. I don't want to make it too big. I got those two big pipes over here. Those are my eye-catching pieces within these two buildings. So I don't want to use a lot of these big pipes, so the rest will definitely be smaller in size than those pipes. Otherwise it would be just too overwhelming with the amount of pipes that I'm using within this area. Let's see how far I can go with this one. Probably up until here. Nope. Now one thing that I did notice is, let me get those pipes in. If you, okay, so if I'm going to copy paste this one right now, oh, it does. Normally when I would, oh, it keeps, oh, did they fix that? Not sure why, but normally when I would actually pick another pipe of wait, let me use those colors. Sometimes when I actually copy pasted one of those pipes, it would actually go back to the original size, but in this case it is still on this size. That's a good thing, because I had a small glitch in it when I would be in the section where you can enlarge or rescale some items. If you then would select another piece, then it would be in the same size as the original piece. But when you would be in the advanced move section, it would resize it to the original size. But I do believe they fixed that, so that's a good thing though. Okay, so when you put your hands up, would you hit the pipe? No, you would probably not hit the pipe. Going to get it up just a little bit. So now I can, let's see if I can use these. Need to downsize it. Maybe it's too big. Maybe I cannot downsize it all the way, but I don't believe that will be a problem. See, so this is the lowest I can get. not bad. It's definitely not bad. I think I'm okay with this one. Let me just rearrange some stuff over here to actually make it fit. And then let me copy paste this one. Turn it a little bit. And one thing I'm actually missing in the game when it comes to foliage are the vines in the game. They're, you know, if you got if you play Planet Zoo, there are a lot of vines in the game, and that's the thing that I've been missing so far. So hopefully, in any upcoming packs, there will be more. There will be more foliage added to the game. Do I like this? This one needs to be a little bit more on the inside. So that's actually a thing I've been missing out in the game so far. So we got the ivy over here, but it's actually quite flat. That's the thing I don't like, flat pieces. And I know in real life it's also flat because it's on a wall, but in this case I just want to have more of these vines over here. Now let me get one piece of wood. Over here. What else? I don't want to cover it up all the way. Otherwise, it would have no effect actually having these pipes in. A little bit more on this side. Otherwise, like I said earlier, if you would copy paste something and mirror image it, make sure that it looks just a little bit different than the original piece that you used or that you copied it from. So in this case, making this one a little bit longer. So that it looks exactly the same as the other one. Right. Okay, so that looks nice. The only thing I'm missing is something underneath this pipe way over here. Ooh. Yeah, that's great. Maybe in the future I'm going to add some splashing effects or some splash effects. I believe when I hit the play button right now, yeah, it has some splash effects of its own. Probably going to add, you know, some pipes that are actually broken, water coming out, stuff like that. That's a thing that I'm probably going to add to this attraction over here. Is there anything else I can use for this border over here? Wow, voice crack. For this border over here. Yep. Let me get this thing over here. Right, and then probably make these custom trees over here. So we got the palm tree upside down with some lipstick palms. And I actually do like these lipstick palms, but what I actually don't like about these things is that it got the red bamboo. So therefore I did not use it on its own, those lipstick palm trees, but I used the section of the desert fan palm and put a palm on top of that one. Not sure if I'm keeping this tree in this section over here, but just to give you guys an idea of how this would look. So we got that first section in. Quite happy with it. I think it's time to start working on the front side over here and maybe a little bit of this right side over here, but not after a small break, and I need to get a new cup of tea. So you guys should be ready for round 2 right now. We're going to focus on the front side of that building. One thing I did notice is that I got the exit over here, which has a nice viewing point. And maybe a little bit of a splash zone actually when you would be watching over this area over here. Now this is the exit. That's basically this point over here. But I'm probably going to add in a viewing point for this attraction over on this side over here. I think this provides a nice view of this attraction over here. Probably not into that splash zone when you would stand over there, but it gives you a nice glimpse of the attraction, I do believe. So let's go for that round 2. Let's hit that pause button again. And I'm quite happy with the thing that we did so far. I like the pipe actually going over the attraction, the track of the attraction. One thing that I am missing though, you get the pipes. It would be great if there would be a pipe actually broken. You know, when you would have an explosion in a pipe, you get the outside of that pipe or the edges of the pipe actually standing out of the pipe. Would be great if we would have some sort of a pipe that reflects that detail, and you can actually get some water out of it or some steam or stuff like that. That would be great, but in this case we don't have that, so we got to do with the pieces that we got. Maybe, and I was actually thinking of breaking up these two pieces over here, making it look like it's broken. I'm still figuring out how I'm going to do that, and then making the water come out and stuff like that. So that's probably a detail that I'm going to add, but for now let's focus on that front side. I got some ideas already, mostly similar to this building over here. I'm going to copy paste a lot of those pieces, But in this case, the roof for this one, which is slightly different angle than the other roof, just to give it a little bit more dimension. And it's a little bit lower, so I'm going to use that. Also, let me copy paste it a little bit over the edge. Not sure why, but I do believe I want it a little bit over the edge for now. Not sure if I'm going to keep it though. Wait, let me do that differently. I can copy paste them both, that's better. And then let me get some fences. Oh, there's enough room to actually... I thought there would be less room over here, but in this case I got enough, just enough space to put that wall in between that section over there. So I'm probably going for a, not sure if, let me use these pieces over here. Now these pieces, this is probably a thing that I do a lot when I start building something like this. Just use these walls, these simple metallical walls, to create a layout of the building that you want before adding some detail. And in this case, I want a closed section on top, but I just want a small viewing point when you actually would be going down this hill over here. So just to get a small glimpse of the rest of the park over here, or this area, before going down. But I don't want to have it open all the way. So in this case, a small section which is closed, and then a small section which is open, and then again to a small section which is closed, which is the front side over here. And I'm not going to use these walls, because I'm going to use the plaster walls. Yeah, I can use this one, I guess. It's probably, the angle is correct, I believe. Yeah, this is a good angle. This is a good angle. Let me downsize it, because I got some ideas of adding some ducts and vents and stuff like that within these walls. So I just need a small portion, just like that. And then in between those gaps, I'm going to add those pipes and some ducts and stuff like that. Maybe some ventilators. And I'm not using these metallic walls. These are, I'm not sure, but I don't like the texture on this one. I believe I can create better things with the plaster walls. Probably use those plaster walls a lot in my builds. Halfway, that's correct. Okay. Alright, so we got that. This one needs to be a little bit more to the right. So each gap in here will be filled with some pipes and maybe some other things. Let me get a beam in. Which one do I want? Which one do I want? Let me get this one. It's not even in a group yet. I'm actually working on the outside right now, but there's so much work needed to be done on the inside. That's a thing that I'm going to do either on my own time or also in a... What's that? Oh, it's the bird. Or in a long play video. Because that is the theming for the attraction, so there will be a lot of triggers involved. Okay, so I'm going to use this one, but in this case I'm going to... Can I resize these things over here? Yeah, I think that's perfect. Because I cannot use this large thing because it will interfere with the interior of the attraction eventually. So I cannot use that piece. Let's see what would happen if I would see. Oh, it's sorry, it's one group. Yeah, let me delete that one. Let me delete the doors. Let me get something else that's round. Wow. You know, my mouse is actually having so much trouble right now with the scroll wheel in it. I think I played too much with this mouse. Now let me get something that is actually round. And this is actually a thing that I do try to avoid while speed building, but also making these long play videos. I just don't want to scroll through the item list, the scenery list too much. Can I get this? Probably can. So what would happen if I would? Okay, I like that. All right. Okay, I like that. I like that. Let's see if I can fit in 3 of these things over here. Probably 2 by the looks of it. So that's 1. That's 2. Ooh, but can I, if I would overlap it? Yeah, that's even better. Yep. Yes, that's amazing. That's amazing. I like that. The only thing I need to adjust is that they're not blowing that smoke in the same order now. Where? Oh, the smoke is the smoke in that thing? Where did I hit the smoke in this thing? Let me see, let me see. Let me hit the pause button for a second. Oh, there it is. Yep, there we go. Play each, let's say, 13 seconds. This one over here, play every 8 seconds, and then this one over here. A little bit longer, play every 16 seconds. So it's a nice sequence, I guess. Yeah, I think that will work. Okay, so we got those things in. Now let's get some pipes in. We got the pipes already. But I want the same color. Where is it? Same color as this one. Let's see how far we can downsize it. I think that will do. Because now I can get 2 in. Just like that. Let me combine those two. Oop, there we go. And then eventually, is it going through the track? Yeah, one is going through the track. That's not a problem. What I actually want is that they're both also going to the inside, so that eventually this will be for the theming on the inside as well. Right? Now this one. Oops. There we go. That's that corner again, man. I hate that corner. I think this is okay. This will probably not be visible from within the attraction. There we go. Then I need some beams again before actually putting some fences in front of it. And in this case, no, not those beams. I think I like these beams. Not too much. There it goes, the corner again. Not too much. Probably 1 each 2 meters. This one needs to be... I'm not sure what I'm going to do over here. Make the outside a little bit more darker. All right. Now for the inside, if you look closely over here, I still got the, I cannot cover this side over here because that's where the log flume comes down. Eventually I will be adding a panel in the same angle as the track over here, the downhill from the log flume over here. Just to make sure that it is that the outside is not visible for the inside and vice versa. So in this case, for example, I would probably be using not the same type of scenery, but in this case making a I can do this for the idea right now. Let's go ahead and copy this one just to block off the view for now. Eventually this will be themed differently. Is it still one piece? No, it's just another piece. That's great, because if I would recolor it black right now, adjust the angle just a little bit so it's not going through the track of the rock flume. Okay, just to give you guys an idea of how this eventually will be, like I said, in different types of pieces that I'm going to use for that section, but for now I do believe that it just gives the idea that this is actually closed. Now, what else do we got? We need to get some beams. Some more beams in here. And then what I'm probably going to do is, let's see, because I just want to connect. Wait, how large is this? Metal support beam. I need to get the I think this one is okay. This one a little bit lower. I do want to connect the front side with the right side of the building over here. So let me adjust the size of this panel just a little bit. Just a little bit more. Just like that. So we got that. What else do we need? We need these fences over here. I'm gonna create one group of those fences. Just doing some framework. Wow, that's bad English. Framework, that's better. And like I said, I just want to have the corner over here connected to the right side of the building as well. So let me get these panels already in for that right side. Not sure if we're going to make it actually building the right side right now. Don't want to make the video that long. I know it's a long play video, but not that long. Just to give you guys the idea of where I want to go right now. So we got the panels over here. And I need a small portion of these panels on the inside as well. Just like that. And also on the back side of this thing. Now let me get those pipes. And so in this case, wait, I do believe that I got better pipes in this one over here. Let me see. Did I use those in here? Yeah. Oh, I used the coaster supports. Let me use those pipes. Because I cannot downsize these pipes that I used earlier even more. This is the max. So let me use these pipes to connect the outside over here. Need to get the angle right. Just like that. And I'm not going to cover this up with fences. So I'm just going to keep it on the visible on the outside. Just like that. Now let's remove all the unnecessary parts. Need to tuck it in a little bit more to the inside. Oh, there you go. Don't need that. We don't need that. It's correct? No, it's not correct. Is it far enough on the outside? No, it's not. No, it is. I want 4 of these in here. Yeah, there we go. Wait. Do I want it? I want it connected to the wall. Yeah, I want it connected to that wall. Do I? Do I want this one in? No, I don't want this one in. And I don't want this one in. Well, let's adjust these things a little bit. Not to make it look the same. Wait. Hello? Oh, there we go. Right. That's done. Recolor all of them. A little bit more to the dark side. Nope, not that color. Not sure what kind of color I'm going for that one, but let's check one more time. Yeah, I think that will do. Okay, and then I want, what's that over there? Oh, that's an unnecessary piece. Let me copy paste this one, split it, and then use it over here. But then probably I'm going to use two, otherwise it's just too wide. This bothers me. All right. Now I want the same color in the roof. There, as over there. Is it one building? Yeah, I can adjust it right now. Nope, this has to be the green thing. Yeah, that's the same color right now. What else do we need? We need some beams over here. And then we need this thing. It's perfect. I probably want two of these things over here. Maybe three. Let's go for three and then something else in the middle over there. Still need something inside this section of these fences over here. I'm not sure what. And I need to get some pieces from this thing. Just for now, maybe eventually I'm going to adjust the inside a little bit. Otherwise it would look a little bit flat over here. So for now I'm just going to add in these walls. Just like that. Just for the idea. What else do we got? Of course we got the fences over here. Just some finishing touches on the roofs, or on the roof, for the edges of these fences over here. Before we're actually going to add all that foliage, and it doesn't have to be perfect. Eventually the foliage and stuff will cover up the all those small little gaps in between. How far can I downsize this crossable thing over here? Ooh, I can. Let me get it into this section over here. Make it a little bit more darker. Quite happy with it so far. Like I said, it still needs so much detail, but that's where the foliage actually comes in, and those damaged parts which you can use on those concrete walls. Let me get some cables in. Cables are always good for adding detail and a little bit of depth to your buildings. I use these a lot in my neon district area. With a lot, I mean a lot. Like I got over 100 TV screens within that neon district area. And I think each one definitely had 1 or 2 cables connected to him. Alright, you know what, let's go ahead and in terms of time, I still got like 50 minutes left before I have to go, so let's get that greenery in, and then maybe afterwards I'm going to add in a little bit more detail for myself. What do we got here? We got the wall decal. Let me recolor that one. Let me get one of those into my builds over here. Damage. We need damage. Damage control. These are not connected. Let me get this one connected to this thing over here. This one a little bit more to the middle. Just like that. Then I need to adjust. This. Yeah, that's better, that's better. This is probably the most fun part, by actually adding the decorations to your building. Let's see, let me get the moss over here. I need the same color for this one. Moss. Oops. All right. And now I believe we got to add all those foliage. So we got some ivy. Let's start with some ivy, and then eventually it's good to add some of those bramble bushes. And if you may have noticed, I left a small gap. Let's say, you know, in terms of measurements, I think 4, maybe 5 centimeters. We don't work in inches here in Holland. We work with centimeters. Just a small space where you can put those vines on. And that also makes sure that this building doesn't look like one flat building. So you get just a little bit of that depth into this building. This can hang on. I don't like this one. I don't like this one either. Maybe downsize it a little bit. This can hang on top of this thing over here. Yeah. And now if I would use the bramble bushes, downsize it again. Just throw it over these edges just a little bit. I think that will give the nice look of all those trees hanging over these edges over here. Just one more in the middle over here. Yep. And it's actually quite easy. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. You know, have you ever seen an abandoned factory where all the trees and all the overgrown plants are hanging perfectly synchronized? No, I haven't. So it doesn't have to be that perfect. This is probably too big. Let me get one in the corner over here. And what I can also do, or try to do, I got this plant over here, which I love. Can I get it? Just like that. Yes, I can. That also makes it better already. Let me get some more plants over on these things over here. Oh, let me get just some final touches in, guys. Maybe I'm going to add more detail in the future to this building. But I actually do believe for now it's okay. It looks okay. Let me get one more. Let's see. Let's copy paste this over here. A tree trunk into this section. Let me split it from that building. Just like that. And adjust these fences just a little bit. Remove that one. And then last but not least, get some bushes in here. All right, and I really think that should be it for today, guys. Yeah, I think that's it. I need to work on the roof though, but like I said, I just don't want to make the videos too long. I was actually hoping for some work on the right side over here, and maybe a little bit more on the top level surface for the cube here. But I actually need to go. I don't want to make it too long. I hope you actually enjoyed this video. Like I said, I usually don't do a lot of these long play videos, but in this case, I actually kind of liked it. Sorry for not being that good in multitasking and talking and building at the same time. But hopefully, this gives you guys an idea of how I build and how I create my stuff, and hopefully this inspires you to also keep on building in this amazing Planet Coaster 2 game, because you can create some amazing things that with all the pieces in the game. And even though the theming that you want is not in the game, you can still try and create something with the pieces that we got so far. And I do believe they're going to add so much more detail and so much more DLC packs to the future, for this game to create some amazing things. So I think it's a wrap for now. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think of this build, and I hope to see you guys very soon in the next video, which will definitely be a speed building video. So thank you for watching, stay safe, and bye bye.